Have you heard of Archangel Michael? He's one of the most highly regarded figures in the Bible, often depicted as a leader and warrior aiding the children of Israel. Early in Christian history, he was seen as the helper of the church's armies against non-believers and the attacks of the devil. Today's video will focus on everything you should know about Archangel Michael. But before we get started, kindly drop a like and subscribe to our channel. To begin, who is Archangel Michael? He is the chief of angels. His name derives from the Hebrew Mikael, which means who is like God. He is often referred to as the guardian prince of Israel, a protector who stands ready to defend God's chosen people. Most angels in the Bible are depicted as messengers, but Michael is described as contending, fighting, or standing against evil spirits and principalities. He is the protector of swordsmen and masters of arms. His skills as a judge of souls have also made him the patron of all trades that involve the use of assessments, such as traders, pharmacists, pastry chefs. He is also the patron saint of the police. But here is the thing. Is Michael the only archangel? And what is an archangel? Since ancient times, people have considered the fact that the angelic hosts are arranged into a sort of heavenly court with various ranks and graces. The three archangels hold the highest positions among angels with big responsibilities. They spend all their time praising and guarding God, never stopping to rest. Their names end with El, which means God, showing their divine nature. Each archangel has a specific job that reflects their unique abilities. In the Bible, there are only 3 archangels: Michael, Gabriel, and Raphael, and they play important roles in Christianity. Archangel Michael is like a strong warrior, leading heavenly armies against evil and protecting God's people in battles. He represents strength, bravery, and safety, always standing up for what's right. Archangel Gabriel, on the other hand, is God's messenger, bringing important messages and prophecies to prophets and believers. He's all about communication, guidance, and sharing knowledge between heaven and earth. Archangel Raphael is known as the healer and guide, offering comfort, support, and divine help to those who need it. He shows compassion, mercy, and helps people on their spiritual and physical journeys. Throughout history, people have prayed to these archangels for protection, guidance, and blessings. They're important in religious texts and traditions, showing how significant they are to Christians and in people's lives today. Whether in art, stories, or prayers, the archangels remind believers of God's grace, giving them hope and comfort. Archangel Michael was repeatedly mentioned in the Bible. He was first mentioned in the Old Testament, when Archangel Michael had a dispute with the devil regarding Moses' body. Archangel's first mission is defending the body of Moses. God decided not to tell us much about what happened before Moses died. God showed Moses a view of the Promised Land, even though Moses couldn't go there. Moses looked at the Promised Land from the top of a mountain called Nebo, part of a range known as Pisgah. This mountain is in what's now Jordan. Moses couldn't go into the Promised Land because he didn't obey God. In Jude 9, it tells about a time when Michael the archangel argued with the devil about Moses' body. There seemed to be a disagreement about Moses' body, and Jude says Michael won by asking the Lord to stop the devil. But it's not completely clear why Michael fought the devil over Moses' body at first. Some think the devil wanted to use Moses' body to make people worship it and lead them to worship idols. But why did the devil want Moses' body? The disagreement about Moses' body teaches us a lesson about the dangers of spiritual battles and the importance of safeguarding the legacy of righteous leaders. One interpretation suggests that the devil wanted Moses' body because he envied Moses' close relationship with God and his important role in leading the Israelites out of Egypt. By having Moses' body, the devil might have tried to tarnish his reputation or use it to deceive others. On the other hand, the Archangel Michael insisted on burying Moses' body to uphold divine justice and honor the sanctity of the deceased. As a powerful celestial being, Michael represents goodness and righteousness, opposing the devil's plans. This disagreement also shows the broader religious idea of the afterlife and what happens to the soul. In Jewish beliefs, properly burying the dead is a sacred duty, and how someone's remains are treated can affect their soul's journey after death. By ensuring Moses' proper burial, Michael not only respects his memory, but also protects his soul from evil influences. Even though the Assumption of Moses isn't considered part of official scripture, it still gives us important insights into ancient Jewish beliefs and the lasting importance of figures like Moses in religious traditions. The second task of the Archangel Michael was fighting the Prince of Persia. The Prince of Persia is talked about in Daniel 10, which is a very symbolic part of the Book of Daniel. The Prince of Persia probably means a bad spiritual being who ruled over Persia long ago. The prophet Daniel saw a troubling vision about a big war and spent 3 weeks mourning, fasting, and praying. In response, God sent a heavenly messenger to explain the vision to Daniel. In Daniel chapter 10, verses 10 through 14, it tells the story of Daniel encountering a man who speaks to him. The man tells Daniel that he is precious to God and instructs him to pay attention because he has been sent with a message. Daniel feels scared but obeys the man's command to stand up. The man reassures Daniel, telling him not to be afraid because God heard his prayers and sent him in response. However, the man explains that he was delayed for 21 days because he faced opposition from the ruler of the kingdom of Persia. Eventually, the angel Michael came to assist him, allowing him to reach Daniel with his message about the future of his people. This passage from Daniel shows how God values and protects those who pray and seek understanding. Despite Daniel's fear, the man reassures him and explains the divine intervention that occurred to ensure Daniel received the message. Through Daniel's experience, we learn about the importance of perseverance in prayer. This passage gives us insight into spiritual battles. Daniel prayed and fasted for 3 weeks, and an angel was sent in response from the first day. However, a powerful figure called the Prince of Persia opposed the angel for all 21 days of Daniel's fasting and praying. This prince had such strong power that Michael, one of the main angels, had to help. In Jude 9, we learn that Michael is an archangel. The angel could finally reach Daniel because of Michael's strength. The angel explains what will happen to the Jewish people in Daniel's last vision. Michael, the great prince who protects your people, will come at that time. The angel also calls Michael Daniel's prince. The Bible doesn't explain exactly what it means for Michael to guard, but it's clear he has special duties for Israel. In Daniel 10:21 and Daniel 12:1, it says Michael is responsible for protecting Israel. He's called the prince of that country. When we look at history, both ancient and recent, we can see Michael's hand defending Israel. Even though he's very powerful, Michael always obeys the Lord. In Jude 1:9, It shows how he trusts in God's power. Good angels have different ranks and follow orders. Michael, being so strong, shows his beauty by obeying God. Archangel Michael's third task was the war in heaven. A battle happened in heaven with Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon and his angels. This happened during the tribulation in Revelation 12:7-9. It says, "There was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. This huge red dragon had 7 heads and 10 horns. On each head were crowns, symbolizing power and authority. This dragon represents a frightening image of immense power, authority, knowledge, and strength." It's important to note that the word diadems, found only in Revelation in the New Testament, means a different kind of crown. The dragon is also depicted as being able to sweep down 1/3 of the stars from the sky and cast them to the earth, showing its great authority. Stars often represent nations and rulers, indicating the dragon's influence over them. It's also made clear that the dragon is Satan, the ancient serpent and deceiver of the whole world. Verse 4 also reveals that Satan is waiting to harm Christ upon his birth. The dragon and his angels fought against Archangel Michael, but they lost. There was no place left for them in heaven. The great dragon, also known as the devil and Satan, who tricks the whole world, was thrown down to earth. His angels were thrown down with him. The dragon suffers a big defeat and gets thrown down to earth with his followers. But this isn't the end for him. While heaven celebrates, it's bad news for earth and the sea. The devil, knowing his time is short, is furious and wants to cause as much trouble as possible. Right now, Satan isn't in hell, but he's heading there. Michael and the heavenly forces beat the dragon, Satan, and throw him to earth. Angry, Satan goes to fight against those who obey God's commands and believe in Jesus. In Revelation 12:17 it says, "The dragon was mad at the woman and went to make war against her other children, who obey God's commands and believe in Jesus." It's not pleasant, but sometimes confrontation is needed to fix, clean, and unite the community. The battle is believed to happen at the end of time, which is similar to the story of Michael in the Book of Daniel. It's like a mirror image of the idea that Michael kicked Satan out of heaven at the start of creation. He kicked out evil once, and he will do it again. In Christian artwork, Michael is often shown defeating a dragon by stepping on it or attacking it with a sword or spear. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between the art of Michael and the art of St. George, who also fought a dragon. One clue is that if the figure is on a horse, it's probably St. George, but if there are wings, it's definitely Michael. To Splendor is a special song in the Roman Catholic Church that honors Saint Michael, the Archangel. Its name comes from the first words of the hymn in Latin, which are "To Splendor e Virtus Patris," meaning "You, the brightness and strength of the Father." The hymn is based on another hymn called Tibi, Christ, Splendor Patris, which was written by someone named Rabanus Maurus. It got updated in 1632 by Pope Urban VIII. Some churches and religious groups still like the older version better. In the Roman breviary, To Splendor is sung at certain times during a special day called the Feast of Saint Michael the Archangel, which happens on September 29th. This day also honors the dedication of the Basilica of Saint Michael the Archangel and all the angels on Mount Gargano. The appearance of Saint Michael at Gargano is remembered on May 8th. Back in 1817, Pope Pius VII said that if people recited this hymn with sincerity and devotion, they would get a special blessing called an indulgence from saying it once a day. This was to honor Saint Michael the Archangel and ask for his help in protecting people from evil. This hymn is included in a collection of prayers called the Raccolta, along with its approved translations. As important as Archangel Michael is, it comes as no surprise that he has a special celebration. That's St. Michael's feast day on September 29th in Western church traditions that include Anglicanism, Roman Catholicism, and Lutheranism. It is on November 8th in Eastern church traditions, including Eastern Orthodoxy. The feast is often sometimes called Michaelmas in English-speaking places, a shortened form of Michael's Mass, and it was a major feast in the Western medieval church. It became one of the 4 quarter days associated with the turning of the seasons, during which debts were settled and wages were paid. Like many saints' days, Michaelmas has a number of folk traditions associated with it. In the British Isles, for example, it was considered a bad idea to eat blackberries after Michaelmas, because when Michael kicked Satan out of heaven, he landed headfirst in a blackberry bramble, and now every year after Michaelmas, the blackberries go sour in memory of the devil making a crash landing into them. Best to eat all the blackberries you can at Michaelmas then, before they start to set your teeth on edge. Michaelmas, observed in the Western Church on September 29th, holds significance rooted in both historical events and symbolic representations. Its origins trace back to the consecration of a church dedicated to the Archangel Michael in 5th century Rome on September 30th, with festivities commencing the preceding evening. However, the timing of Michael's feast at the cusp of dwindling daylight carries profound symbolism. Within Christian tradition, Michael remains a revered protector, especially against the forces of darkness. As the onset of autumn heralds the encroachment of literal darkness, our thoughts turn to Michael and the celestial host, who partake in the commemoration of his feast, seeking their guidance and protection. Michael is often invoked by Christians for protection, usually in a manner that differs slightly from other human saints. Christians may ask a human saint to pray for them, in the same way Christians ask their living friends to pray for them. The main difference with saints is that they happen to be dead, but this doesn't matter very much because all Christians, both living and dead, are connected to each other through Christ, which makes death rather gloriously irrelevant. Michael, on the other hand, is not human and is not dead. As an archangel, he also possesses power that humans, both living and dead, do not have. No angel is ever to be worshipped, but because the action of angels is conformed to the will of God, asking Michael for protection is considered acceptable by churches with strong traditions regarding saints, including the Eastern Orthodox, Roman Catholic, and Anglican churches. We've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, please click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing content for you. See you in our next video, and thank you for watching.